develop this a little bit further, I suppose. But I think we'll see as we go along with introducing the colour what's actually required. Now, this isn't about using the colour in a representational way. It is about creating a three-dimensional representation of the still life and using only two complementary colours. So I'm going to start by using the red lightly on these darker areas and then blending it in. And then on top of that, I'm going to use a little bit of green, because as we did in our colour scale, the green and the red together create a sort of brown. And the grey paper, I'm going to deliberately leave in places because it actually works with the other two colours to create tone. And it's more of a, I would say, a half tone in relationship to the other colours that I've used. So use a bit of red on the handle here. And certainly on the ball here. Now the ball is at the front and I want to kind of bring that forward. So I'm going to use a bit more red on this shape than probably I would on the others, and I'm not going to blend in the green quite as much. I might use a little bit of more black, but okay, I certainly will use white in the highlights. I'll put the red over the black, and already you can see that one side of my ball is slightly, my ball of string is slightly lighter than the other. And we've got this piece of string coming down here, coming up in front of there. That as well is creating a cast shadow, and the cast shadow I'm going to push in before I forget about it. That also is quite nice, it adds a note of interest. Now I'm going to go back with my white on this ball of string, and where bits of it are catching the light, I'm going to just put in some white. Keeping maintaining the texture of the string itself. Again, some black would also help here and there, but very softly, and don't push it in too heavily. Where the dark tones are peeking through on the string underneath where the light can't get to them. I'm just indicating this with the black. That's probably enough for the strings. And now I'm going to develop this flower pot here behind. Here I'm going to just darken this up a wee bit more on the right hand side. So get rid of the white, put some more green and some more red over it. And then this flower pot as I said. The little touches and down the side here and the light's not reaching. A little bit here. For the rim. And just use it very, very circumspectly, because if you're going too heavily with the pastel, it's difficult to get the paper playing through in the way that I want it to do. And on the rim here, using the pastel on its side. Now I'm going to start to put the green over the red. see already it sort of makes it into a darker colour. Now you will probably find you'll need a paper towel to actually, you know, either smudge in the colour if you want to, or to use instead of your finger. I actually don't mind using my fingers, but some people really don't like it, so you can do either. You see that now has created a nice dark tone over there. I'm going to put some more red on it, make it darker still, and that bit of rim. And possibly this bit at the back here. So already you can see I've actually begun to get the form of the flower pot. I might just use a little bit of red here, just where it goes back into shadow. It's not quite as light, dark as on the other side, but it's yeah, a little bit darker than in the middle where it's coming out and hitting the light. Now I'm going to put some white here. This is where you can use your white to bring out the highlights, where the light is hitting the object. It isn't very obvious on this flower pot because it's a sort of matte terracotta material. But there's a bit of light, and again I will just soften it all so it's not too strong. Use the white to lighten the colours as well as dark, you know, having the charcoal to darken it. I think this is darker down here, so I'm going to use my charcoal on its side and make it darker. Better. And down here it's a bit darker as well. The contrast of light and dark across the subject is what actually creates its interest and also makes the forms look more convincing. Now here, underneath the rim of the flower pot, it is actually quite dark. So I'm going to do that. And now to use the red on the metal object here. A little fork. Again, I'm not using it to create the realistic colour, but I'm using it more to create the sense of the light and dark across these shapes. This is going to be darker here. There's a definite sort of highlight on the plastic of the handle. And certainly on these metal prongs, I'm going to bring up the light a bit here and there, where the light's hitting it before I go in with using my green. And I'm going to use the green over the top of the black. This again is metal, so it's a different texture to the string and the pottery shape at the back. So using the black with the green. To make that come forward a bit. Now there are some wonderful cast shadows under these prongs, so again I just use my charcoal on its side like this to indicate what's going on. And there's a big cast shadow here underneath the ball. which I'm going to need to use a bit of the charcoal to establish. So very lightly in your application as you use this charcoal, so you don't start losing the shapes, but you're actually showing that what's going on in terms of light and dark around and across the objects. So I'm really using the three pieces of chalk and the white in conjunction with each other to create the tonal variety and three-dimensionality of these particular forms. I'm going to just leave it like that and have a little break, so I hope you can see how far I've got. I haven't got very far. There's just one more thing I might do, and that's put a little bit of something in here on the spout of the watering can, just so we can see it. And we use the red and the green together. Have to be very light with the red because it's powerful. I think I've just done that a little bit too heavy, so I've just used my rubber to correct things. And we'll stop there and just have a little look at what everybody's done.